Welcome back to part 2 of episode 6. Last week, we broke down how to survive the sinister triple. Today, we are talking tech. From the unproductive status on your Garmin to the Great Headphone Debate, it's time to find out if your data is helping you or hurting you. Let's get into it.
I currently have the Garmin 955 Forerunner, and I've only ever used Garmin. And honestly, I'm trying to think now. I only train, all of my athletes have Garmin. I'm just again very apprehensive if you have an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
From a data standpoint. Now, I will say I have Garmin users who, and I say this with a grain of salt because if you're only using wrist-based heart rate, one, it's not accurate, but at least you're consistently inaccurate.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes.
consistency does help. But it's again, I mean, and it happens to the best of us, or I mean, even I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I just don't want to put on the chest strap. And I'm running and my heart rate says I'm at 190 and I'm running like just over a walk. And then my training piece will be like, you got a new threshold, and everything gets all skewed. So again, it's just like data overload. It's completely inaccurate. And how do you actually feel? But I
Right.
also love the data, which again, then your heart rate spikes, which then can mess with your fitness score. And here we are again. So
Surprise,
data
but I
is
have a thought
fun.
on that. Right? But before I answer your question, Ann, and tell you what I have, because I know you know, because we've talked offline about this, but how many or what do you actually as a coach want to measure with your athlete?
Oh, for me, my athletes, I train everybody by power on the bike and heart rate on the run. And then swim is very much RPE because that's, to me, the athletes that I have, it's just, the swim is, it's not many people's strength, which is fair across the board. So I just want them to get in and just hit the intervals, take your rest as you need it. But I don't use anything other than RPE on the swim.
I love that, by the way, because I think so many people get so caught up in their pace in a pool, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's not.
no one cares how hard you can push off the wall.
Absolutely.
Because that wall is not going to be there in the open water.
Right. And you don't get that wall to grab a hold of and do your open turn if that's what you're going to do. But that's what I'm looking at for my athletes. And I used to be much more stringent on this, is that it was definitely Garmin because it's easier across the board. I think I do have one athlete right now that's wearing the Coros. Apple is a no-go for me. Apple's absolutely no bueno.
Yeah, I just think Garmin has just done the investment, so they've kind of earned the right, if you want to say, like just the time and the research and everything into it. I've been a lab monkey for them a couple of times.
Yeah.
For Garmin and on
Yeah.
some time wear. So
Simply
what do you
from
use?
like, I can only charge my watch once a week, versus an Apple Watch. A lot of people complain it doesn't even make it through their race because it dies.
Oh yeah, an Apple Watch typically won't make it through a half Ironman or Ironman definitely.
We have to bring battery packs with ours when you're out there for 24 hours. You just plug it in when you're doing a transition.
That's crazy. I have the Epics, the Phoenix or the Garmin Epics. I got this one. I love it because it's the AMOLED screen. So my old eyes can see this when I'm in the pool. And it's just, I bought it when I did my Mackinac Island swim because I knew that I was going to be in the lake more and I needed something that I could easily take a peek at. This watch does much more than this body does. So again, but at the same time, we had our business and we were Garmin dealers at the time. So I got a really good deal on it. That's the only reason I have a watch that's worth so much more money. But overall, I've always been a Garmin person. Back in the day, we talked about this before. I had the old Timex that did absolutely nothing. But Garmin was in our backyard in Kansas City. So just tried and true. And that's kind of what I've always gone to. I do the chest strap for heart rate too. So I don't.
And you have the Aura ring
I
as well,
do
right?
have the Aura ring. Look at the thing. I did put it on this. Um, I do. I do have the Aura ring. It's new to my life. I did the Whoop strap when it first came out. And I know that it's progressed quite a bit than when it was first launched. The only reason I didn't stick with the Whoop is that, again, swimming, it would flip all the time, like pushing off the wall, it kind of would twist, and it just really got annoying. My Aura ring, I'm using much more for sleep and tracking my sleep and actually kind of making myself stay in bed a little bit longer. I mean, I'm one that my eyes open up about 5 o'clock in the morning and everything just starts going through my mind. And then all of a sudden I'm just up and I really haven't slept as much as I should have. So, I've been much more aware. My HRV is doing something a little bit funky right now, but I use mine more for sleep. I do tend to, when I'm not training, I do have a job where I'm up and down all day, but I don't get as many steps in as I should. So it does kind of keep me accountable for like getting my baseline like calorie burn, if you will, set. But those are my two. I do love the Aura ring. It's just something a little bit different. I can swim with it. I can,
Do you find it to be the same as what your Garmin data tracks?
It's hard to say because I don't sleep with my Garmin on. It's too much. I can't do that. I will say there are some nights though that with my job I'm on call like every other week. So I have been known to sleep through phone calls in the middle of the night that I shouldn't. So if I'm on call, I will sleep with my watch on just so that I have it vibrate and I don't have my ringer up so annoyingly loud that it wakes up my husband and the dogs. So that's the only time I'll sleep with it, but it doesn't give me enough data. It's very rare, so I don't have enough data on there. But and our bed also tracks HRV, but with two dogs sleeping in it, it's supposed to differentiate.
What kind of bed? Is this a mattress we're talking about? Are we gonna?
It's a fancy bed. It's a Sleep Number bed, so it does have that HRV tracking. But yeah, it's also, I think they have a it's not an app, but it's the new upgrade to the Sleep Number that it now will track your breath. If you turn it on, I don't know. I don't do all of that.
Like your
stuff,
respirations?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's a better word than breath.
Don't want to track my breath.
No.
No.
No. So there's so much out there though. And I haven't sat down and compared the Sleep Number to the Ring and all of that stuff. I just look at one of them and like, yeah, it's about right. That's how I feel.
When it's nice to you, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. When it's nice to me. Yeah.
So Alicia, what metrics as a coach do you primarily focus on? And how many?
Right. Yeah. So one, I listen to my athletes. Some are just set on paces. They want to just run their paces because it's easy to kind of do. It's one of those things, especially if you're on a treadmill, you can kind of set it and forget it, or it's like in your brain. You don't have to, because our heart rate can be elevated by so many factors: the wind, the weather, the humidity, the heat. And obviously a pace is a pace, right? But however, a pace isn't a pace when you're going uphill, when you're going downhill, when you're, so I depend on the athlete, and I look at what their goal race is. So if their course is hilly, like we need to do some more hill training or flats or whatever. But like for an instance, I have an athlete who's going for a BQ. We know the time she needs to be. And so when it comes to paces, I'm like, listen, we're out for an easy run. This is a zone 2 run. However, if your heart rate jumps up higher, like that is going to determine your zone 2. So you can stay in your pace, but you need to double check. You need to cross check with one, what your heart rate is saying, and two, does it feel easy? Like, does it feel like a zone 2? I also I love me some nice naked runs.
Yes.
Naked meaning no watch.
No tech. Yeah.
Sometimes though I will have them run with their phone and track it, so it's not beeping at them. They have no idea. They can't check it, and kind of compare themselves. Like, did they run faster? Did they run slower? But especially on those days when I'm like, I just want you to move. I don't care about your pace. But sometimes they want to just be able to like put it into Training Peaks and like own it and it be
Strava.
there so they get the score.
Yeah.
Oh, the Strava.
Mhm.
Yeah, and JW, I know you do a lot with power. Like, how about that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the ones, and I think you asked like, what have I used or what am I using? I mean, I've used the time wear. I can't remember if we talked about
Yes.
that on the show or off the show. So time wear, I like it. I don't use it as much now just because the app was a little unstable, but I was in on the beta program, so to say. So it,
Yep.
you're supposed to find all the faults. But I really liked it because it really, really worked well with ventilatory thresholds, right? And I think that was good. I use Polar H10 chest strap. I'm a big you need the chest strap as well. Like it's, we're going to tell you here in a moment that, how does your wrist know what the rest of your body's doing, so to say. So I like the heart rate chest strap. And then a run pod, right? So it just happens to be the Stride is the big one out there. The only issues that I have, let's say that when we come into like the Stride, and some of these other, and especially our watches. So I have the 745. But first generation 745. So it's older, right? Our devices measure so much. And then our athletes get so entwined with so much. And if you're a ultra trail, I would really prefer if you had a power meter, right? Let's train by power because, it's hard to keep a pace, if you're going to do a kilometer climb over 1 kilometer, right? Like it's too hard to do that. It's not impossible, but I prefer the power. Otherwise, but power meters are, run power meters are expensive. I mean, so are pedals, right? But you got into triathlon, it's going to be expensive. Running, we just think, hey, we just need some shoes and a vest and a water bottle and away we can go. Well, you didn't tell me I needed a $500, this, that, or whatever. So I will tell athletes, pace first. Heart rate only, as I call the check engine light. I agree, Alicia. I know, Anne, you like it, you love it, and it works well for you. I just find that there's just too many variables. It's too unreliable. And then it stresses athletes out, right? Like, okay, let's go do some intervals. And if they're doing intervals either on the local hills or they're doing intervals on the treadmill, it is barking at them to hurry up and get your heart rate up. Right, you're supposed to be in zone 4 right now, and they're like, but I just finished 30 seconds of zone 4. I'm in the recovery. Now you're saying slow down or hurry up, or and so it seems like the watch is always kind of barking at them. If you want to go for the long runs, sure, heart rate, I mean, you kind of get there and you're there. But I agree, I just think there's, in addition to what Alicia said, I mean, there's humidity, there's, did you eat, the life stresses, the work stresses, the personal stresses, like you said, the wind, and then just even the different terrain that you have. So I call it the check engine light. And again, it's going to be one of those numbers that I'll go back to the watches, especially with Garmin. How many things do they measure? How many things does a Stride foot pod measure? Like, an insane amount of things. How many things should we probably focus on? I say 2, maybe 3, right? Do I want to increase my pace? Do I need to, maybe ground contact time? If you got a pod meter, why do you say that? Well, if you're going to run technical trails and you need to be lifting up your feet, it should be longer before your feet hit the ground. So you're hitting the ground too fast or something. If you're not running trails, then maybe you just want stride, your stride length, right? This just popped in. How many times have you heard athletes being told you need this cadence. You need the gold standard of, what is it, 180?
170.
170, the gold
I
standard.
love
And remember, where
cadence.
do these gold standards all come from, right? Olympic athletes, right? Olympic athletes tend to almost be all about the same height for their sport. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Alicia, you and I are significantly different in height.
What?
What? I know,
Who
right? I'm just going back to Utah. It was a couple of years ago, right? But we're different in height. So you're telling me that I need a cadence of 170 and you need a cadence of 170? And that is going to be what's going to create either one of us to have a perfect run. I will always kind of come back, and this comes back to one of the certifications I did, preventing running injuries with the running clinic. And if you have a natural cadence and it's working for you, why do you want to change it because some gold standard told you had to?
Yeah, I think a time to change it is if you're constantly getting injuries. I think that's something that you need to look at. And I think if you are your ground contact time correct, I think but I do think if you're running in like the 150s, that's a little too slow for me. Regardless if your pace is slow or your pace is fast. Now, obviously, the faster you go, naturally, your cadence is just going to go up. However, I have seen people improve their running economy simply by increasing their footsteps.
Okay.
So not necessarily hitting that 170, but increasing their footsteps. If you're running uphill, you need to increase your footsteps. You need to shorten your stride and climb, obviously. But if your pace goes down, that's one thing. But I do think there is something to be said about, in general, just increasing your turnover, making sure you're landing underneath your hips, not necessarily on that 170 number. I'll agree with you on that.
Alicia, what are you using for Matrix for running? Are you using power also?
I have a stride power meter, but I don't. We talked about this off camera. It was like another number that I needed to memorize, and it was constantly making me want to retest, and I was getting frustrated, and I'm just like, I just want to run. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're in a thing of data overload. Data is fun. Technology is fun. Numbers are fun. But at the end of the day, it really does come down to how do you feel, and just get out there and just go.
What are you coaching your athletes with?
For running?
Yeah.
Oh, I do pace and heart rate.
Okay.
I think, and RPE for sure.
Yeah.
Now, like with cycling, that is very cadence dominant. Like I'm always constantly focusing on pushing a high cadence, or pushing a low cadence if like strength is a focus. Like being able to, if you're in a pedal grinding at 65 RPMs, you're not going to be able to get off your bike and run a marathon because your legs are going to be trashed. Like you need to be able to turn over,
and this is exactly where I agree with you on the bike. Just because the ergonomics of what we're doing are going to be slightly different than running, you probably want that average of 85 on your cadence for on the bike. Absolutely. I have seen a lot of athletes get fairly hurt trying to increase their cadence and overreaching on the runs, and now they're coming up injured. Right. And so I'd say if you need to or you want to increase that cadence, please do it slowly. Don't think that, I'd argue first more find out what your stride length is. Right. And so I think mine's just slightly over a meter on a zone 2 run. I wouldn't want to try to make that any bigger in any short distance of time. Like you want to just do it in short little bits and retrain. But as we all know, I mean, the body is amazing, and the human body is extremely amazing at adapting. I mean, that's really what our training is that we are causing trauma to the body. So the body just goes, I don't like this. I'm going to make myself bigger and stronger so that it doesn't hurt anymore. And you can do more really at the end of the day. Right. So I think there's two sides of the coin. I'd have to come back and find out why you'd want to, why you need to, if it's been working. And again, what's the goal is always going to be another one. I also agree that, these numbers that are out there stressing all our athletes out, right? Like, oh, my pace, this, it was that, it's, everything else. I said it already at the beginning, right? Like it's do those RPEs at the end. They're important. I don't know how many, and I'm very certain that you both have plenty of athletes this way too that come back to me after a race and they just go, I hardly looked at my watch. But you look at the numbers afterwards and you go, man, that was awesome. Are you sure you weren't on a treadmill? Because that was pretty consistent, right? Like, and yes, us coaches can tell when you're on a treadmill or you're outside.
Well, and then there's the other factor of, I know, for example, 100% Chicago Marathon, you go try to run that, your Garmin's not going to pick up on the data.
100%. Yeah, there are too many
So
buildings. Yeah.
are you going to be so caught up in your head because your pace isn't showing up on your watch that you're missing the whole point of running? That,
So I have another question. This is kind of along the lines of wearables. On race day, do you run with headphones?
Me? No.
Alicia?
I don't.
Obviously, a triathlon, no. A trail run, no. A road race, yes.
Oh, do you? Okay, so.
But I run with one, not two.
Okay. So do you encourage your athletes to use it, or do you leave it up to them?
I completely leave it up to them.
Yeah, I leave it up to them too, but I tell them, like, especially the ultra trail runners, like the athletes, I'm like, you're doing something that a lot of people haven't caught on to yet. So enjoy this, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's just going to get better. And I tell them, when you're at the top of whatever summits, whatever peaks you get by this, when you get over by Hague Lake or you get to here, you get to this part of the trail, pull out your phone and take a selfie. Take a picture. When you're at that peak, take a picture and you go, oh, but I'm in a race. Sure, you're in a race. You're in a 30-hour race. I'm pretty sure 30 seconds to take a picture and enjoy it. I mean, like, anybody who knows anything about force bathing, I mean, like, this is it. Like, just take that picture and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I am anti-headphone.
Okay.
I am strongly anti-headphones. I will. Go ahead.
Are you anti-headphones in your training?
Pretty much, yeah. It's very, it's very, very rare that I'll throw on a pair. I have the
with this new Peloton app of yours, you might change your mind.
Well, right. It's a little different. So we have the aftershocks. I think they're just called shocks now, but they're the bone conduction, and I do love those. I would go out on like a longer run and throw in a podcast and listen to it. Honestly, half of it, I think it's because I wasn't raised with headphones. Like I didn't use them in the very beginning when I was doing all my marathon training. So to me, I spend more time screwing around with it, trying to figure out what to listen to, that I just get so frustrated. I just shove everything to the side and I don't want to deal with any of it. Also, I think too that there's so much noise in our lives, and there's so much, like, at the end of the day, I don't want to, like, I just don't want more noise in my head. So I also I do discourage my athletes from using it, especially if they want to use it during training, that's up to them. I do highly encourage them to drop them about 3 weeks before the race and not to use them, because triathlon, you can't. It is against the rules. Has anyone ever been pulled off the course for it? Absolutely not. But I think it's an aid, and I think you really need to learn your body, and you need to work on that mental game. And
Mhm.
I am a big believer that headphones and whatever noise you're putting in, I say noise, like it could be a podcast, noise relative term, but
Mhm.
I feel like it is very much an aid, and you have got to work on your mental game and really focus on your body and listen to your body, literally. And also I have some really good marathon stories of the things that I heard around me and the stories.
Yes.
And whether it was the guy with the one Tylenol that was bouncing around in his pill bottle on the back of his pants that drove me nuts, or the flippin' jingle bells on someone's shoes. But those are the things that I remember. And when you have so much noise in your mind and in your head, I feel like you're losing a huge experience by plugging into and being out of that experience.
I have a really funny story, and I know we're like approaching
yeah.
90 minutes now. But one of my last races, so I have this bad habit. I don't know if you want to call it that, but I flutter my lips like a horse. I'm like, when I'm like stressed, when I need to relax, when I'm just like making eggs in the morning, I just do it. And in the race, I was doing it constantly because it kind of just, it relaxes my jaw, it calms my breath. And again, I had one headphone in, but like I can still hear, and everybody I'm around, they're like looking like there's a horse near them. And people are laughing, but they won't like say anything to me. And now I'm like picking up on it. I'm like, oh my God, they're laughing at me. It's my thing. But I can't stop doing it. It's just like my, like, you know, like my nervous twitch. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah. That's what I get for wearing headphones. It's like, oh, you have headphones on? You can fart because no one can hear. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so, like, this happens.
No one heard that. No one heard any of that.
And, you know, if you're still listening to this podcast, you're a true follower.
That's right, yeah. Go hit that subscribe.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That is a really good way to wrap this all up.
I think so. Yeah. So no matter what technology that we're using, I mean, we do become very reliant on it. And I think we do need to be able to, you know, it's part of the what if plan. What if the watch dies? What if this, what if, you know, I lost it, I lose it or whatever. A lot of athletes will shut down, right? They just become so reliant on it. So, you know, our challenge, I'll tell you what the challenge is, or your homework after here, but definitely, like I said, I get so many positive feedback from athletes just by doing that RPE after every session to just think, but it's not just, how do you feel right then? So the run is done. I'm feeling great right now. Think about the whole run. That's what we want you kind of doing the RPE on. Was it a smiley face at the beginning, the middle, and the end? Or was it a little tougher of a run because it took you longer to get built up? Because what you're doing is you're just building more of those synapses in your brain to now just know that you can run without the technology, trust your body. I coach a lot of my athletes to do the body scans. Right? Like you got to do that. Am I shrugging? Am my shoulders really tight? Do I need to drop them? Do I need to just shake out the hands? Do I need to flutter my lips? Whatever it is when you're out there, we've all got the certain things, but then those body scans, you just go, you know, how am I feeling? I heard on a podcast snip, you all might have heard it too, and I think and the lady said, and this just so hit with me, and it was hilarious, but it was like, you know, when you're doing these body scans, no time in the history of blisters has it ever gone away by ignoring it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, that is golden. Like that's so true. I wish I could remember her name and the podcast I heard it on. But when you're doing these body scans, you got to check these things out. Am I tight? Am I whatever? And get ahead of it and have that what if plan and get there. So I think there were some pretty good discussions today, right? Was there any final comments before I throw the homework out to them?
No, I think go for it.
Awesome. So really, where did it go? There it is. You know, like the tech can measure so much, but really at the end of the day, everybody has to try to teach ourselves to be able to monitor ourselves. And so the homework is going to be take that naked run. right? Then naked, as Alicia mentioned, means the technology. So whether you cover the technology up, you turn it off. I often tell my athletes, turn off the alerts when you're out of zone. I will look at it afterwards, and trust me, I'll let you know when you're out of zone, right? But do a naked run. So basically a tech free, and just try to tune into yourself as you go, and tell us how you did. Like, what was that RPE? Were you pretty close to what it was? I say, wear the watch and put like a sweatband over it so you can't see it, right? So at least you have something to compare to as you come back and you go, hey, I felt this great. Oh, the numbers kind of do this. Also, did you feel real anxious? Did you feel lost without that technology? Or did you actually feel pretty liberated, right? Like, you know what? I actually didn't miss the watch. I didn't miss looking at my zones. I just got out and enjoyed that long run. Okay. So experiment with it. Try it. Go for a naked run. As always, we ask, please drop some comments in. If you got any questions, follow up. If you got Coach Ann, Coach Alicia, on anything, you drop us a line. We'll get it in there. If anybody has any questions that they want to ask us, drop a line in there. We'd be happy to answer some of your questions. If you haven't noticed, we have no shortage of information that we want to share. All right.
I'm going to add one caveat there. You have 3 coaches here who are really good at analyzing data, and JW, I think you guys will be okay with this, but if you want us to analyze your training zones, I find the number one thing I do when I meet a new athlete is I notice their training zones are completely wrecked all over the place.
Yes.
Whether that be paces, power, heart rate, RPE. Drop a comment, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email. We'd love to help you out with that aspect from a fun data aspect.
Absolutely. I'm Coach JW. Trust your body over the battery and fit the training into the chaos. And I'll see you on the trails.
You're amazing.
Run naked.
That's a wrap for this week on the Endurance Balance. If you enjoyed the conversation, do us a huge favor. Hit that follow or subscribe button on your podcast app right now. It's the best way to support the show. And hey, we want to see your chaos. So come find us on Instagram at The Endurance Balance and drop us a DM. For Coach Alicia and Coach Ann, I'm Coach JW. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the trails.